seems like the 10-point plan that Iran has talked about implies Iran control over the Strait of Hormuz, not just in this 2-week period, but afterward. This conflict has shifted from concern over Iran's nuclear program to let's get the Strait of Hormuz open, and you don't hear a lot about Iran's nuclear program now.
So you've hit the nail on the head. This is the single biggest strategic shift that's taken place and strategic loss for the United States and its allies. What this war has done is handed Iran a weapon that is far more usable than nuclear weapons, which is the Strait of Hormuz, choking off global oil supplies, essentially disrupting the global economy. And what they have realized is they have this weapon, they can use it, they can turn it on and off without will, and anything that institutionalizes it means that at this point, the United States and its Gulf allies are in a sense hostage to Iranian good graces in order to get their product out.
So could there be a deal in which Iran remains in control of the Strait of Hormuz?
It seems like Iran will be very reluctant to give up that power and that authority. And just to give you a sense of what a big loss this is, Anderson, the United States' first military actions in 1799 were about freedom of navigation, the so-called quasi-war with France, then the war with the Barbary pirates. That was all about freedom of navigation. Since then, the United States has fought for and tried to maintain the principle of freedom of navigation. As the global superpower, that has been an absolute, we had in 1979, the legislation passed, the Freedom of Navigation Program. That is what is being given up here. The idea that Iran can control one of the key choke points of the world economy flies in the face of the whole basic responsibility the U.S. had. And as you say, this was not an issue. For 47 years of tension with the U.S. and Iran, Iran never closed the Strait of Hormuz. So the United States and Israel have somehow handed Iran a weapon at the end of this that they never had. And as you said, the nuclear program is not even in the 10-point. The nuclear stockpile which they have this maritime position of power. But remember, they're also proposing and Iran's parliament has passed legislation to this effect to charge $2 million per ship. So the number of ships that normally cross the Strait of Hormuz is about 100. You do the math, and JP Morgan has done the math, that is $90 billion of additional revenue for Iran, on top of about 50 to 60 billion in oil revenues.
It's a lot of ballistic missiles.
All of a sudden, Iran is, after Saudi Arabia, the richest country in the Middle East.